Ahoy, ahoy, and welcome to a brand new edition of the Ramble On Best of 2016.
There you go.
2016.
Because it's the year 2017 and we're reviewing 2016.
So
with our top 10!
10! I give it a 10.
10!
So, we recently sat down and we will much do our best not to reference too much of the audio podcast we just recorded. Go check that out.
Yes,
we have a full homage to the Top 10 show where we went through our personal Top 10s of the year and then broke it down. So this is the official Ramble On About Movies Best of 2016, the Top 10.
So if you want to hear our individual top 10s, you'll have to listen to the audio-only podcast.
Yes. And then how we took those 10 and then kind of fit them together.
We put the square peg in the round hole to make this top 10.
So that's what we're going to bring to you. We're just going to talk a little bit about every movie because we've done reactions to all of these movies except for one, but we'll tell you what that one is when we get to it. So, at number 10.
Kubo and the Two Strings.
Blown away. This movie, I did not expect it to be nearly as good or as visually stunning and striking as it
Stunning
was.
visually and a stunning storytelling. This movie's about storytelling, and it tells a great story, and also you get some of the best on-screen chemistry between Charlize Theron and Matthew McConaughey, and they're not actually on screen; they're just voice acting.
When you said that, we talked about it, and when you brought up the storytelling, that's really where this movie is grounded and where they take it from, and they're allowed and they're able to do so much more because they take that element of storytelling and they blossom it to go to the origami motif that they use so much. It layers upon layers upon layers, and it's so well done.
Yep, and it looks fantastic.
It looks really good.
All right, number 9, Zootopia. Disney had a great year, and this is the first movie that came out
for them. Yeah,
for them, and looks fantastic. Everyone's great, voice actors, and it's one of those movies. Again, there's layers, multiple layers. If you really dig and think about this movie, there's a lot to think about and discuss about this movie.
This is one of those ones where strangely you can go back and you could have someone who saw this movie when it first came out in their, in 9 or 10 years old, watch it again in their teens, watch it again when they're an adult, and you will find something different. It's not necessarily the early Disneys with Toy Story or Lion King where some of the jokes are going to go over your head. It's whoa, there's a whole motif of racism I never got here. There's a whole motif of segregation I never got here. The stuff that they put in this movie and did it so subtly and crafted so well, it really added a lot to the film for me, which I didn't think. And it's a lot of life lessons too, which is what you brought up before, which is how to take things as they come, but how not to give up.
I'm not going to fall into it and let people listen to the audio.
I know, we're not going to go too much. This is the shorter version.
And also, it's the only movie on this list with Idris Elba in it.
Unfortunately. So our number 8 movie was the Jeff Nichols sci-fi action-adventure Midnight Special.
Boom, boom.
So, oh god, that movie...
The first movie I think we did the immediate reaction to, and you can go back and watch that video where we just praise our love for it back, what was it, April?
Late March, early April.
Yeah, and everything we said then can be applied again now.
We definitely talked about it more on the full audio one, but the storytelling is masterful, all the acting, nothing's overdone, everything's subtle, every moment has its chance to breathe. You kind of explore the story as the
this movie
characters
lets
do.
the audience actually think and discover the story instead of being force-fed everything, which is a nice change.
It's a different change of pace from the action-adventure or the sci-fi that we're used to getting. And one of the first, we had a few instances, one of the first ones on our list of some real good child acting going on in this one. So our number 7 was Hell or High Water, which this movie I did not expect it to be nearly as good as it was.
Same here. When I saw it, I don't like to go into my expectations for this, blah, blah, blah. No, I was taken aback by how good the writing was, because again, it's also the same writer of one of my favorite movies from that year of Sicario, and you have some of the best acting performance-wise with Chris Pine giving probably his best performance in his career so far, Ben Foster being amazing, and then Jeff Bridges doing what Jeff Bridges does best.
Oh, totally taking on a character and just having you buy it.
Well, especially with that southern accent.
And that grizzled old...
Yep.
He's literally 1 week away from retirement or something.
A week from retirement.
I
want a medium rare T-bone.
It is played as a cliche. It is written as a cliche, but not played that way.
Right.
So... But the whole movie, the plot, the way it's shot, it's a beautiful looking film too.
And again, it's another movie where it lets the audience discover as it goes on.
It was fantastic all around. So number
6, The Nice Guys, a movie where I wish Hollywood would make more of because it's an original comedy with Ryan Gosling giving the best performance of his 2016, and Russell Crowe being funny.
Russell Crowe being really funny.
Yeah.
Like, not like accidentally in Les Mis because he can't sing well funny, but
you don't know about me.
No, but this is like he's delivering one-liners, he's delivering zingers, like you said, Ryan Gosling, some great physical comedy and like character comedy too.
Mm-hmm.
The
situational comedy. I mean, there's so many good one-liners, so many good moments. You will laugh. You will enjoy this movie. And in fact, if you rewatch it, you'll enjoy it more each time.
Yeah, there's no. That's the thing too. Is we had a little bit of debate when this movie first came out because my expectations were sky high for this movie, and then it was just like it almost met all of them, but just because it didn't quite get that high. But as you keep watching it, it doesn't get any worse. It just keeps going up notch by notch.
Dave's expectations were to the moon, but he just fell a little bit short of the moon, but couldn't appreciate the fact that he was still in space.
I mean, hey, zero gravity messes with my bowels, so
adult diaper.
Take that for where you go. So our number 5 was Captain America: Civil War. I'm speechless. The first time I saw this movie, I was literally speechless. Nate and I we sat down and had dinner to talk about it, and we kind of just stared at each other for 5-10 minutes because we were just
looking longingly to each other.
Not so much longingly, but like flabbergasted that that this is the point that we've come to
with comic book movies.
With comic book movies, you could say it kind of started with going back to something like Blade, something like this Raimi Spider-Man 2000.
Yep.
But even more so The Dark Knight, to where you're getting to the point where they're being taken seriously. The Dark Knight is still the only one with a performance Oscar, but you're getting to that close. I don't want to say like Uncanny Valley where it's like things are extremes, but we're getting to a point where these movies are going to be acknowledged for what we're getting because we've gotten past that point of a comic book movie genre. Yeah, this is the step up from that spy thriller that Winter Soldier was, to where it's like you have stakes for comic book characters and you care, which is like clearly evident because the genre is not going anywhere.
This movie masterfully tells a Captain America story, but also at the same time incorporates the MCU and also successfully introduces 2 new brand characters to the MCU, and it does it so fluidly you can't even tell, like, wait, this is a new character, how's this going to fit? The Russos do a great job. So let's move on to number 4, Arrival. This sci-fi in this movie, it literally had me like pulling at my hair right before you go into the third act when there's that little twist. But if it's like a blink and you'll miss it thing, and you're like, wait a minute, that totally changed everything about this movie. And that's what I love about a really, really good sci-fi movie. It's like, you go back, that's different. You go back, you see the scene, that's different than the first time you saw it. So like this movie, like one of the things that we go back to, this movie has layers. Yeah, and then also another thing is, this is the 4th movie from Charlie Villanueva. Denny.
I like Charlie though. Charlie's his brother. He's an up.
Yeah, he's an up-and-comer. You haven't heard of him yet, but he's getting there. He's getting there.
He's made 3 shorts. This is his first feature.
Yeah, but no, Dennis.
Charlie.
I mean, he's out there. He's taking the next step in terms of like showing how he can be a force in Hollywood, because this was a $40 million budget film, but it looks better than, I don't know, Independence Day Resurgence, which had close to $200 million. It's the thinking man sci-fi thriller, and also it tells in movies about language and how important that is. Because apparently I can't talk or get names right, so that's how important this is for everybody.
Cross your fingers that this is actually something that is going to be, I know it had a few Golden Globe nominations, but cross your fingers that they will acknowledge how much of a quality movie this was.
Yep.
Number 3.
OJ, Made in America, the 7.5-hour documentary. This is powerful filmmaking. It tells a beautiful story about how how we got to where we are, and how the importance of that case was, and also looking at the history of who OJ was, and the pretty much the situation that the LAPD put themselves in through their history. I highly recommend it. It is the best filmmaking I have seen all year. One of the best documentaries ever. It is available on Hulu because I know Dan hasn't had a chance to watch it. Please see this movie.
Our number 2 on the Ramble On Top 10 is Swiss Army Man. This is something, as we said before, I did a solo reaction, the only one we've ever put up on the channel, because I felt so strongly when this movie came out that I had to talk about it and I had to get people to say it. Because this was an experience for me unlike any other one I'd had in the theater. I'd seen Rogue One opening night, I'd seen Civil War before it came out, and the fact that this movie was able to do things, and this is one of those things, I sat down and I left the movie at least somewhat changed. It was an experience, which is not something you see in a lot of movies. A lot of movies you see previews, you're like, I know what that's going to be, I know where that twist is, I know what happens, who the villain is in that, they're showing everything. And this movie, the premise is ludicrous, but as soon as you sit your butt in that theater, nothing short of spectacular filmmaking and literally breathtaking cinema was presented to you. You saw it much later after the fact. Mm-hmm. It's so high on our list. Eric was very much OJ higher up on his. Mine was very much Swiss Army Man. We definitely talked about it both, and it's something that needs to be seen. I won't get into it too much. We talk about both of these a lot in the audio portion, but number 2 was Swiss Army Man. And finally,
our number 1. The movie that will lift your spirits and make you sing in the streets.
Why don't we call it Sing Street?
Well, because I want to make people think we're going to talk about La La Land, but we all know that's impossible. It's Sing Street.
Sing Street. Oh, this is, especially since you're watching this movie wherever you are online, go home, put on Netflix, watch Sing Street.
Right. Finish watching this video, then,
Or you can stop it, come back when you're done.
And we'll still be here telling you how great Sing Street is.
And then by that time you'll know.
Right.
So it's this, and that's the thing, this plot, simplest plot.
Simple plot, simple story.
1985, Dublin, Ireland.
Boy's trying to impress the girl by forming a band.
15-year-old boy in high school tries to impress a girl, forms a band. The end. That's the plot of the movie. You get to that 15 minutes into the movie, and the journey you go on from there is...
And beautiful music.
It's beautiful. It's
beautiful
fun.
Moments. And you'll just be singing like us at the end of the day. Drive it like you stole it.
We're not coordinated, so...
No.
Not with each other. Like individually, but just not together. Yeah. We didn't practice, clearly. We don't rehearse any of this. Nothing scripted. It's all scripted.
We do this to scripts.
Take that.
No.
Other side of my kitchen. So, that's the best of Ramble On About Movies.
But how did we get here? What was our individual top 10s? You will have to listen to the exclusive audio, which you can find on our Facebook page, Ramble On About Movies.
You can find on our Facebook page. You can subscribe to us on iTunes at Ramble On About Movies. Just search for that. We will have the link pinned to the top of the audio. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share this. Let people know what our top 10 was.
What is your top 10? We'd like to discuss it with you.
After everyone, we read through Nate's top 50, 100 million. He had a lot of movies. One day we'll be on his level. But for right now, the time being...
Goals. Squad goals.
Ramble On squad goals. So, that's what we got last year. It was the blockbusters, lackluster. However...
Everything else...
A good fucking year for movies.
Yes, it was.
So...
2017, you've been put on notice.
Let's see what you got. That's clever Eric Muller sitting right over there.
That's Handsome Dan Nye.
As always, ahoy, ahoy. Have a good year at the movies.
Ramble on.